I'm Gudela Grote. I'm Professor of Work and Organizational Psychology at D-MTEC. I've been here forever, 25 years. So I've seen a lot also of the predecessors of D-MTEC, and I think we've grown into a really exciting department. My role here is teaching human resource management and also work in organizational psychology, as well as research in that field concerning system design, effects of technology, flexible working, teams in high-risk situations. In research, I guess we have two strands. One is teams in various situations. We worked a lot with teams in high-risk situations like railways, like aviation, like medical teams. But increasingly also now with teams whose job is maybe actually sometimes creating risk through the innovation that they produce, but with overall the focus of innovation, for instance, software development teams. And we look at what makes good coordination, what makes good leadership in those teams. How can they balance the requirements for being very flexible and adaptable, and at the same time creating sufficient stability for those teams to feel safe also themselves in those situations and do good work. And the other strand is more broadly human resource management, where one focus is the psychological contract, so the kind of implicit offers and expectations in employment relationships. We look at that with at this stage biannual representative survey in Switzerland, looking at kind of the state of the working relationship, if you will. This year for the first time we will do this also in France, Italy and Germany to compare cross-culturally, across economic systems, etc. And then another part of that research field is careers, with the focus on the presumed new careers that we all, have to change jobs several times. One example that is very practical is work we've been doing with Microsoft on the issue of flexible working, and we had a number of student groups also that's part of the lectures where they have to do a project, and some of them did that with Microsoft on the topic of flexible working. And in terms of the research involved in that, I guess the big question is what has been called boundary management. Everybody at some point thought flexible working was great, best invention ever since sliced bread. Because it all looked like now you could integrate everything and not worry about family role conflicts at all anymore. And I guess now people realize more and more that you do need to build boundaries again to avoid the always and everywhere kind of working attitude. I guess generally in D-MTEC, we cover a lot of fields. And that is hard for the students because, they're basically starting up in this field. They have a natural science and technical background, and then they learn about psychology and about economics and about information management and innovation, etc. And they have to, within 1.5 years, really get up to master's level in this, basically starting in a way as newcomers to the field. And that means they have to be ready to be very open to lots of things and be ready to really immerse themselves in lots of things at the same time. Well, I guess two things: personal careers of the students and then the impact that they actually have to their jobs, right? Personal career of students, I guess one big decision in this, and this is actually part of our research in terms of what kind of career do you want to pick, right? Do you rather still be a very, very dedicated mechanical engineer working with ABB on solving very intricate technical problems? And if that's what your interest is, probably D-MTEC is not quite yet the right place for you. But the willingness to take all the technical and quantitative knowledge that students have gained and bring that into more integrative discussions on where companies should be going and how to deal with all the various problems we're all discussing, from energy, from globalization in general, from new kinds of working relationships, etc. to really bring all of that together, I think that can be an incredibly enriching experience for the students themselves. There's clearly demand for this as soon as companies see that they cannot just solve small problems individually, but really have to have a more general approach to them. And I think that can be something very, very useful that students can give to Swiss or whatever economy and life, right? And I think it's very exciting for themselves also. But I think it does require this step from going away from the very kind of nitpicky solving of individual problems, and at the same time avoiding to not just be kind of good in nothing in a way. I mean, I guess that's always a danger in making that step.